Welcome back to Let Her Rip, the show where we dive into the weirdest, wildest, and sometimes darkest letters from history. Today, we get into the drug letters written by the legend Bruce Lee. In 2021, a collection of over 40 handwritten letters from Bruce Lee to friend and fellow actor Robert "Bob" Baker surfaced, offering a rare and candid glimpse into Bruce's meteoric rise to fame. The authenticated letters reveal his use of substances such as cocaine, LSD, and cannabis, often referring to them as Coca-Cola, M-pills, or that holy stuff. There's no doubt Bruce Lee was a superstar who single-handedly transformed cinema, bringing a mixture of martial arts and philosophy the world had never seen to silver screens across the globe. But, like many stars, Bruce had a dark side. He liked to dabble with the devil's powder, the devil's lettuce, and other satanic nutrients. Did Bruce have a problem? Or did he approach drugs like a philosopher and an explorer the same way he approached kung fu kicks? Fear not the man who has snorted 10,000 lines once, but the man who has snorted one line 10,000 times. Now, before we dive deep into the drug letters of Bruce Lee, we must honor Bruce in a way that is worthy of his martial arts prowess. To do this, I will break this wooden board. And look, you're probably thinking, break a wooden board, you pussy? Been there, done that. I've seen that shit before. And you'd be right. Which is why I'm gonna break this wooden board with my hard b****s. Luckily, I only podcast with fully torqued, so I am good to go. But just for good measure, and to fully honor Bruce's background, I will now blast Chinese into my eyes and ears to fully fill my flesh saber to the absolute max. It is crucial to have maximum hardness before performing a dangerous stunt like this that could not only have me lose my life, but also my... Let's do this. Alright, cue up the please. You gotta get right to the point of coming and then back off. You don't wanna finish, but you wanna get there nice and good. Right at that mountaintop. Alright, we're good. We're good. Almighty Bruce, please accept this offering as I crack this wooden board with my bare, hard. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Come on. God, I'm bleeding a little bit. Okay. It's alright. Podcast through the pain. God, that's gonna need stitches. Now that I've performed that act to fully honor the legend Bruce Lee, let's dive into the first of two letters we're gonna go through on this episode that are all 100% real and written by Bruce Lee. This is real. The first letter reads, Bob. Again, Bob Baker, friend of Bruce Lee and fellow actor. Bruce Lee writes, Bob, I'm planning to come to the United States in about 3 or 4 weeks' time, but I can only stay for a week. Regarding the goods, you can send them in a package addressed to me, Woonan at Golden Harvest Studios, 1412 Tung Ying Building, Nathan Road. The goods list can be 1. Coke in large amount, 2. Acid in big range, and 3. Hash or grass. The former is stronger. I like the latter, even though milder. I love here how Bruce doesn't get bogged down by the metric system like most people do when they ask for drugs. They ask for it in milligrams or grams, but Bruce just says, hey, give me a large amount of coke, fill a duffel bag full of that good shit, and send it over to Daddy Bruce. Give me a big range of acid. Fuck a tab, just send me dissolved LSD in a squirt bottle and I'll spray it into my mouth like a bad dog until I see God. The letter goes on. Bruce writes, carefully pack it. As to what you put the goods in, You know better. Also, when I come, I would like to have more goodies ready for shipping, including finding me a Derringer pistol from shops, collection, or whatnot. Also, find me a car seat holster for my Colt 45 fast draw. Send me right away. Here, you clearly see Bruce Lee asking for guns and drugs in the same letter. And people love to say, don't mix drugs and firearms. And those people are pussies. When you're operating on Bruce Lee's level of mastery, shooting a gun sober is like playing Guitar Hero on easy mode. Bruce didn't train in reality, he transcended it. He'd snort a few lines, rip the bong, chew a couple shroomies, and then step onto the range seeing 6 targets and deciding, in a heartbeat, which one was real. That's why I personally show up to the gun range completely naked and zooted out of my mind on peyote. Not because it's smart, not because it's sane, but because I need to feel the breeze of God gently graze my taint as I empty clips into hallucinated threats. Sure, there's screaming. The screaming from the people at the range running away. And the screaming from myself as I blast rounds into things that I'm 40% sure are the actual targets. The screams often mix together to the point where I'm not sure which is which. Just know that if other people scream at the way you practice firearms, that is the weak rejecting greatness. Let's go to the next letter from Bruce Lee. Bruce writes, Bob, how's everything? I'm stoned as hell, but I'm working on the upcoming character. Some coke would help in the formation of what I want to create. To the big brother, Bruce. Now you may be reading this thinking, Bruce Lee on coke? Doesn't that clash with his philosophy? And that's exactly what I'd expect an amateur to surmise. An expert philosopher would recall one of Bruce's most famous film quotes from Enter the Dragon. Never take your eyes off the opponent, even when you bow. Doing massive amounts of cocaine to get into character not only helps you stay vigilant, but it also forces your eyes wide open to more easily track your opponent. Watch as I demonstrate by doing cocaine and then bowing to the camera. And notice how it's impossible for me to close my eyes fully, even if I wanted to. Cheers. Also, let's be real. Cocaine is great for martial arts practice. Have you ever practiced throwing 10,000 kicks not high on cocaine? That shit is boring as fuck. One sniff of snow transforms a monotonous practice session and transports you to the devil's dojo, where the only thing higher than your kicks is your skyrocketing heart rate. Bruce was wise enough to make that connection, and so I try to incorporate it into my own martial arts practice. I once got so blown out of my mind during a sparring session that I fought my own dad. And he's dead. And in terms of building characters on coke, Bruce understood something that most actors are too soft to admit. Method acting is for pussies. Why spend months building emotional backstory and psychological realism when you can just blow your frontal lobe out in 5 minutes before a scene? If Daniel Day-Lewis had even a crumb of warrior spirit left in his accent-perfect, period-authentic bones, he'd be ripping rails on set like a true artist, Bruce Lee style. Picture this: Daniel Day, gacked out of his mind on gator tails, foaming at the mouth as he screams, "I drink your milkshake." Damn, just picturing that has me vibrating in my Victorian waistcoat. Now, before we end off, I have to make an announcement to the kids who may be watching this show. Just because I'm talking about drugs doesn't mean I'm condoning their use. There are better ways to find meaning in life than blasting your brain with artificial substances designed to make you feel super cool and insanely happy. Are drugs cool as fuck? Hell yeah. Ugh. But there are other ways to get as cool as me and Bruce, like reading books written 200 years ago that no one gives a shit about, or camping. So don't fall for the trap of drugs. Sure, it comes with an endless flow of champagne jacuzzis and sucking titties, often at the same time. But don't let that seductive symphony of pleasure lure you into a life of heathenistic glory. Stay the course. It's not as fun as it looks, honestly. Oh, God, this is so fun. Now that wholesome disclaimer is out of the way, let's wrap this up with a final takeaway. Here it is. The moral of this episode is normalize writing thoughtful letters to your drug dealer. Bruce not only hand wrote letters to his plug, but he asked them things about their life, like, how is everything? How is the family? Is there anything I can do to help you get to a better place? Bruce didn't just take. He gave his dealer a piece of his soul in letter form. And look, June is Mental Health Month. Just because someone sells you illegal substances doesn't mean they don't need a check-in. Pick up the pen and pour your soul onto the page for your next gram. Send a selfie to your dealer next time you're out with eyes red as hell with the caption, "Just thinking of you." Rail some coke off a stripper titty and send a voice message to your plug. Hey man, I just wanted to say I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to drop off that bag. You've brought so many titties into my life. I just wanted to drop a voice note into yours to let you know I really appreciate you. Happy Hanukkah. Check in on your friends, check in on your family, and most important of all, check in on your plug. They're humans too. Thank you, Bruce, for those candid, legendary letters, and thank you for listening or watching.